Right, I've read it. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Gone with Gandalf. I guess I'm not currently because I'm clearly indoors right now. But today I'm going to take a slightly different track and discuss some of the lore. And the first topic is going to be one of the most notorious reasons as to why people find a fault in the story. Why did Frodo, Baggins and co. not just fly the One Ring on the backs of the eagles to Mount Doom? So that is what I'm going to be talking about today. So before anyone starts commenting rabidly, going like, oh, this is all wrong, I'm not going to go through every single reason because this video would become far too long. So I'm just going to stick to the real key points that I think deserve to be spoken about. So then, reason number one why the Eagles wouldn't give a toss is because, well, they're a proud race, really. They were here before the children of Iluvatar, or the men, or the elves. So they've been around for a long time, basically. They have their own problems, and they don't necessarily want to get entangled in the wars and the events of the mortal peoples of Middle-earth. So yeah, the Eagles, they're not children of Iluvatar in the same way as the other races, or the dwarves for that matter. But they were more like disciples of Manwe, who was the king of Arda, and also Lord of the Air. Now, it's not to say that the Eagles didn't help out at all, because they did. I mean, they helped out Gandalf on a couple of occasions, in fact. And you might be like, well, they helped this old guy do some stuff, but there's more to that. It's the fact that he also helped the Eagles, and the most notable thing that he did for the Eagles was he saved Gwaihir the Windlord, who was their kind of like de facto king on Middle-earth. Of course, he's not the king of all Eagles, because the real king is kind of in Valinor, presumably. At this point, Thorondor, Gwaihir is believed to be his sire, or side of him. Is that right? He's like a descendant of Thorondor. And so Gandalf, he saved Gwaihir. And how did he save him? Well, he pulled out a poisoned dart from his wing that had been shot by a goblin. And this proves the fact that they aren't immortal either. So now we're going to segue onto the next point. And the next point being, obviously, that they can get shot. Like, eagles, they're big. Great eagles, as the name gives a clue, they are great. And if you think back to the flying beast that the Nazgul rode around on, Legolas felled one of those over the River Anduin with a single shot from his bow. Now, on the way down to Mordor from, like, the Misty Mountains, from, like, Rivendell or something, there's going to be a lot of spies. Sauron has a lot of spies abroad, and a few of them will be carrying bows, and they can then shoot the eagles at some point. But you might say, well, why not just fly higher? Well, I mean, they can still see them, and they got to come down at some point. You know, they're not like albatrosses. They can't just stay in the air forever and ever. They have to come down, and they do have to hunt as well. But nonetheless, even the people on the eagles, they also have to get off at some point as well. And the One Ring being on top of an eagle, like, it's a beacon. So Sauron and the Nazgul can kind of feel it. Whilst they might not be able to see it, if it's not like, and if it's not worn, regardless of that fact, the ring, of course, wants to be found. And it being on a giant eagle in the air, it's not like in a bush or anything like, oh, it's like in that area. No, you're on an eagle. It's definitely there. And, you know, you can then get your Nazgul on their fell beasts and attack them. And whilst, yes, like the eagles, like if you think back to like the Black Gate, say, the eagles were able to fight the Nazgul there, but like they didn't have people on their backs, didn't have any hobbits there. So what are they going to do? Put the hobbits down, like, oh, but then there's an army there. Oh, surprise. death and destruction for all of Middle-earth. But there really is more to that, and that is, of course, the plan from the Council of Elrond and from the Wise was always to destroy the One Ring. But Sauron, he thought that they were bringing the ring south towards Gondor so that they could use the ring against him. Because, like, he wouldn't have thought, like, there's no way anyone's going to get in and destroy it in the fires of Mount Doom. Like, he didn't think that was even possible. So by, making a beeline on the back of an eagle straight towards Mordor, it's kind of like, you've got no army, you're just going towards Mordor, like, what are you coming over here? Like, I can see you've got the ring, and then, it's only a matter of time, you put 2 and 2 together, and it's like, they're coming to try and destroy the One Ring in my mountain, or in my volcano back in the backyard. I could probably do with guarding it a bit better. And it's not like Sauron was short of troops either. He could have done that and then destroyed Gondor and Rohan and, everyone else with it. It wouldn't have mattered at all. It just he would have blocked the way completely. And that would have definitely ruined the plan. And that was the one and only hope of ridding the world of his tyranny. However, if we just gloss over that fact, if we say no one sees the eagles, no one shoots the eagles, Sauron doesn't go like, they're probably going to try and destroy the One Ring, let's just carry on as we were. If all of that goes to plan and they make it to Mordor on the eagles to, Mount Doom, that is then when they do have to get off the eagles. It's they have to go into the Sammath Naur, into that the doorway, like you see Frodo run in through there. They still have to go in there, and that is where the final boss is, and that is the ring itself. Now, the ring cannot be willfully destroyed. So, no matter how good your resilience is to the power of the ring, at some point, it's going to get the better of you. And you see that with Frodo. He was actually unable to destroy the One Ring. It was only due to the fact that Gollum was there that actually happened. So someone is going to have to willfully try and kill the other guy with the ring. Someone's going to want to willfully throw Frodo into the fires of Mount Doom. And I don't see Sam wanting to do that. So, like, who's it going to be? Like, Gandalf? Like, is he going to... Like, it would have had to probably be Gandalf, because he would have known the greater plan. So he would have gone in there and go like, oh, Frodo, this is so sad. And then just pop with his staff. But who's to say that he could have done it? Like, we don't know. And that leads me on to the final point. Because it's such a cynical way of looking at it, really, isn't it? You would have lost out on all this story. And I understand that everyone is kind of like a joke. Like that's a simple plot hole there, but if I'm gonna look at it in a serious manner, and that's what this video is about, isn't it? But if you look at it in a serious manner, you would lose out on all of the story, the fantastic story along the way, and all of the connections that are made, like, say, like Return of the King, like the importance of that would have gone out the window. It would have all just been like Frodo gets on the back of an eagle. And because the story is more than just the destruction of the One Ring. Like, if you think to all the different characters, they've all got their own arcs, and each arc is kind of important. So if you look at, well, obviously Aragorn, Return of the King, then you have the reunited kingdom because of him. The Odes of the Mountain Men to Isildur, they're all, resolved better than season 8 of Game of Thrones. And then you have Theoden overcoming his sickness. You have Saruman with his plotting and scouring of the Shire. Like, that probably wouldn't have happened. Then you've got Legolas and Gimli and the kind of friendship that then comes between elves and dwarves because of that. You have the sacrifice of Frodo himself and Sam, and their bromance, and then Merry and Pippin along the way as well. Like, there's just so many, I can't list them all. Like Faramir and Boromir, like, you would have missed out on that as well. completely. Anyway, I'm just ranting. There's going to be so many outtakes in this video. I've already done this once before. But anyway, hopefully this has actually been somewhat entertaining, and this is just my thoughts. Of course, no one knows what truly would have happened because it didn't. But thank you very much for watching. This is my first video of this kind. I just wanted to try it out rather than doing, you know, graphics and things like that, because it's just much easier. And to be honest, this microphone here is very cheap, and like, I feel like the microphone quality isn't that great on that, so I wanted to just use that as well. And this is predominantly what I started this channel to do, just talk about Tolkien and things like that, rather than, you know, Let's Plays. Well, it's kind of evolved into something different, so I'm very glad about that. And it's brought new kinds of people to the channel. So thank you all very much. Time of me posting this video, the channel is, we have reached 400 subscribers, so thank you all very much for that. I'm very grateful, and expect more to come in the future. So subscribe if you want to, and like this video if you want to see more of these kinds of videos, because it's daunting putting my face on one of these, and comment something. I'm going with Gandalf. Good day. Damn, I just can't get comfy in this seat. This is awful. I need to get a proper chair or something. And that is resolved better than... These dogs are barking at the wrong time.